let's talk about specifically about this class. Starting with the guys you're going to be working with. You got Richard Morrison coming in, a guy who the so-called experts thought receiver, cornerback, quarterback. He liked the fact you guys want to make him a quarterback and put up some really big numbers after committing.
Yeah, he's a really good player. I mean, that's the thing. I think when you go back and watch the film on him, I mean, he's just a really, really good football player. You'd like for him to be a little taller. You'd like for him to be a little bigger. But he reminded me a lot of, kind of a faster version of Jeremiah Masali's got at Oregon. That we saw tape on him and tried to recruit him, and he's just one of those guys you put the tape on, you watch, and you go, man, this guy's just good. Makes throws, runs around, makes plays with his feet. Runs actually the same exact offense that we do. Knows the plays. So I think is going to be ahead of the curve just because he's been running this basically the same offense for 3 years and been a 3-year starter and put up huge numbers. And they moved up to a bigger division this year and they never missed a beat. I mean, he lost some receivers to throw to, didn't throw for as many yards, but really played extremely well.
With the emergence of Nick Foles, that looked like it made it so you guys didn't have to go search out a second quarterback, or it gave you some, an additional guy to throw into the mix right away. So it seemed like it may have changed how you approach things.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't ever think you want to bring in more than one quarterback in a class. I think you want to try to recruit a quarterback every year, and so it made sense for us with Nick. We just didn't have a lot of older quarterbacks. I mean, Willie was a senior, and then really we didn't have anybody for a couple of years. So, what I liked about Nick coming in is it just gave us more options, and a guy that had some experience and came from a system that's similar to ours in high school. And again, I think when that happens, you're a little bit ahead of the curve as far as picking things up and being able to adjust pretty quickly.
We'll talk about you bring in two running backs that are both on the smaller side, but you guys proved last year that you can run consistently with backs who are either slight or short, not necessarily both, but
yeah.
It doesn't look like you guys have a height-weight limit there for your running backs.
No, just, we've done it with all kinds of guys. We like to have a big back, and we recruited Greg Nowoko last year to give us that big back option, which I think we need to have that, and that's certainly got a place in what we're doing. But these guys, the thing for us is we want to try to, recruit guys that we can get the ball in space and they can make something happen, and we can create enough room for our backs to run by spreading the field, and also we want guys that can get run behind their pads, and that's the good thing about these guys is that they both have low center of gravity. They both are going to be big guys and are hard to tackle as a result, and again can score. They're guys that are capable of making big plays, and they catch the ball well coming out of the backfield. They pass protect well, and again have played in a system that's similar to ours, and which gives them a chance to get in the mix.
You've got an offensive line. You mix in some JC guys with some prep guys. How do you feel about that unit as a whole?
Good. We needed some depth, especially with Evan coming out early. So we signed 2 junior college tackles, which gave us some size and added depth, which, we'd like to try to move out of the junior college business if we could. But we had a couple of classes where we didn't sign any O-linemen. I think when I got here, we signed no O-linemen in that class, and so we're trying to, get our numbers up with older guys as a result of that. So, hopefully, you're going to see us continue to sign more and more O-linemen and maybe sprinkle in a JC guy occasionally. But we needed some size, we needed some length, we needed some athleticism, and I think, the 2 mid-semester guys, I think, are going to give us that.
Those guys are really big, and you add those with the 3 you brought in last year. That's a lot of beef to work with.
Yeah, it is. And the good thing is they're all good athletes. I mean, they're long guys that move around pretty well, and I think they're going to develop into good players for us. I really do.
Now, finally, you receivers, and you don't seem to be locked into any type of size. It seems like even a mix of speed and possession. Does your system do you fit the athletes into your system, or does the system fit your athletes?
Oh, I think you want to try to, I think at receiver you want to try to really recruit a cross-section of guys. You want to have small guys and tall guys and short guys and fast guys. And so, Travis Cobb, I think, is a guy that has tremendous speed. And you always have to have a home run hitter, and I think it's what Mike Thomas gave us was a guy who could throw a 2-yard pass, he could turn it into a 60-yard touchdown. And Travis Cobb, I think, is that kind of guy. He's got tremendous speed. Can make a lot of big plays. And then at the same time, you want to go find your polished guys, and I think Dwayne Peace is one of those guys that is, has a great work ethic. He's going to be a very polished receiver. Understands route running, which I think is important, and so we've got kind of a cross-section of guys, which I think is always good when you can do that.
Can you talk about just the two athletes that nobody really knows where they're going to go yet, as far as on the side of the ball, Derek Rainey from Texas, and also obviously the big guy Adam Hall?
Yeah.
Kind of make your case for Adam on offense, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Adam would be a really good receiver. I think the thing that Adam wants to do is get on the field as fast as he can, and I think maybe he feels like he can get on the field a little faster at safety. That's just part of the process, is evaluating kind of, where guys are and who's in front of them and how quickly can they contribute and all that kind of stuff. So I think either one of them, I think Rainey or Hall, either one would be really good receivers. And I liked Derek as a wide receiver early on in the recruiting process. So what you do is just kind of see during 2 days what they can do and what they're capable of doing, and then really honestly what they want to do has an important part to play in it too. So you just kind of see what their skill set is and see how quickly they can help us, and then usually those guys have a way of finding a position.
As this class has transpired, and looking back, what holes you had to fill and what you originally targeted a year ago with this class, so how happy are you with how this class turned out and what you're bringing in?
Yeah, really happy. That's the thing that we didn't not find something. We felt like coming in, we wanted to sign one quarterback, and we needed to find a couple of JCO linemen and some high school kids, and needed to recruit a tight end to take Robbie's place, and we found 2 of those guys, and so what we're doing is just recruiting guys to take players that we have on our rosters, spots a year down the road or 2 years down the road, whatever it may be, and so we got a good cross-section of guys, like I said, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, a quarterback, a bunch of linemen, that really fit what we need to do. So I think, we really did a good job of figuring out what we needed and finding the right guys to fit.